Okay, the main topic that we're gonna discuss about in this video is animate text. You can go to animation menu and you should see animate text. Currently is grayed out because we have no layers right now. So let's make new layers. I'm gonna go to my toolbar and select the type tool, animate. Okay, I just create a layer, text layer, animate. If you go to your timeline, you should see the layers. Again, you can go to animation and then select the animate text and choose one of those tools, or you just click on this in your timeline. I'll click this arrow and then click this animate, and you should see exactly the same menu. The one I like to show you is tracking. Okay, select the tracking. Alright, under here we have path options and more option and animator in one, and then you range in selector and the tracking type and tracking amount. You can animate this text by changing the value of the tracking amount and as well as the tracking types. Okay, let's do this. Play this. Of course nothing happens, and then I'm gonna click on this stopwatch to create the initial keyframe. So you should see this keyframe I just created. The tracking amount is 0, and then I'm gonna go to 1 second and change the tracking amount to, let's say, like 100. Right, something like this now. Okay, you should notice that as soon as you change the value of a tracking amount, After Effects created new, the second in a keyframe for us. Okay, let's watch this. Okay, tracking amount 0, and the tracking amount on the second in a keyframe is 100. So we just made a 1 second long animation. If you like to reduce the tracking amount, you can double click on this, the second keyframe, and change the amount of tracking value 50. Okay, this is something like that. Alright, so if I like to add more keyframe, like for instance, I'm gonna go to 115, 115, 1 second and 15 frame. So what if you change again the tracking amount? Let's say, like for instance, 20. You see, After Effects just create another keyframe under 1 second and 15 frames. So total number of keyframes are keyframe that we have created so far are 3. What if you add the additional keyframe in between first and second keyframe? So with let's say like a 200. Okay, what's this? You may also add negative value for the tracking amount. For instance, I'm gonna type the negative 50. So we just play with this tracking amount. Also, you may want to check this one, range in a selector. I'm going to explain this one. You should see start, end, and offset. So for instance, this is a start in a bar and this is end bar. So what I'm saying is you can relocate start point and end point. Now the start point is placed in between A and N. And what about end point? I'm gonna place this in between in T and E. So the animation occurs only in between in a start point and end point. Click on this again. The one we just used was tracking. What you might wonder is what if we mixed in more than one tracking and plus something else, like for instance skew. All right, you can do it by clicking this and select the skew, or just go to animator 1. Currently we have only tracking. If you'd like to add something else, you can go add and properties, and then select the skew. So now you should see under animator, you should see skew and the skew axis. Okay, these two things in the come with the in a skew in a menu. We select it in the tracking here, and we select the skew here. Okay, so now under animate 1 we have two different things. First one is tracking and second one is skew. So if you'd like to apply the skew things on this text, so you need to change the skew amount. So you can add skew, yeah, you can add something like this, negative and positive. And the reason why the E doesn't care is because of the range selector. Okay, so now I'm gonna change this one to, okay, right after E, and now you should see, okay, OR animated. And what if you like to apply the skew only this 1, 2, 3, 4 letters? So my end is 49 and going to skew, and you should see something like this. So, and if you like to animate this, you need to create a keyframe for the skew. Okay, I like to apply the skew from not from the beginning, but from here in the 14 frames, from 14 frame, and then I'm gonna click on the stopwatch. Okay, I just created a new keyframe for the skew at 15 frame, as you can see right here. Okay, the value is a 0, and then I'm gonna move to 1 second, and then change the skew value, and I like a 20, a little more like a 40. Let's preview this. So if you like to add one more keyframe, skew, okay, that's a 0, 0, 40, and the other one also in a 0. Okay. I'll try this, and there's something else, and I'm going to add and the sector, and you'll find the wiggly. All right. So now under animator 1, we have a wiggly selector. Okay, the reason why we see wiggly in the selector next to the range selector is because we pick up this wiggly in a selector from selector. This is one of this wiggly selector is one of the selector, and on the other hand, the skew and the tracking were the part of property. Skew and the tracking, a selector. We have a range, wiggly, and expression. So that's why these two were placed right below this animator, and on the other hand, the skew and the trackings were placed under low level. Wiggly selector. Wow. So if we expand this, you should see so many options here. And then the result is something like this.